All right, we're live. So this is Epic Sketch Time 2016 number 5. My name is James Stowe, and I'm going to be drawing epically with several other individuals for about an hour or so. With me tonight, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Monlix.
There you go.
And I'm Bill Morris.
And I'm Pat McEwen.
There's somebody with some energy. All right, so what's everybody drawing tonight?
Oh, I'm playing around with this design for a roller derby
Nice.
girl for this part of this concept art page that I subscribe to. They do a monthly challenge, and I generally figured that'd be a good way of clearing my head and up my Photoshop skills.
Anybody else? What are you guys working on?
I'm working on a button, I'm sorry, not a button, a sticker design. And once upon a time I had made a custom gradient fill, and I think I no longer know where that is. So that'll be a challenge for me tonight.
This wonderful little image that I'm working on is from my obscure horror movie collection, and it is from Humanoids from the Deep, which is a wonderful slaughter fest from the 1980s Roger Corman variety, and it's an absolutely wonderful film. Can't speak highly enough of it. And I'm doing a little bit of touch-up work because I'm realizing when I went in here earlier with my tone, there are these little gaps, and I just want to fill those in a little bit.
I'm going to be working on some Valentines tonight.
Ah,
Are
so
you still working on those?
well, I remember you doing the Halo before.
I've released one set. I am working on another.
Are you working on the Star Wars set?
No, I'm working on the Doctor Who set. That got a lot of reaction, so I'm working on that.
So is it each kid gets a request?
That's how it normally works, yeah. And then I generally do one for myself.
Uh-huh.
This year, my son requested Valentine's from the game Portal.
Yeah, I remember you working on those last week.
And those are done. Let me see if I have them to show. And then my daughter didn't really request anything this year, so I don't know what I'm going to do. So here are the finished ones. You guys can see that. I like the color scheme. It really turned out well.
Oh man, it's funny how the game becomes enough of a meme that I get some of the jokes without ever having seen the game itself.
Yeah, it's a crazy game. So I did in 2013 a series of Doctor Who villain Valentines, but I've never done the Doctors themselves. And now that there's 12 of them, it works really well. So I'm just going to do those. And then I'm going to have to come up with some terrible number puns. So last week I got kicked out of the thing, did it kill the hangout?
When did you get kicked out?
I'm pretty sure I did, didn't I? It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. Either way, I wasn't sure how that affected the actual, since I'm the guy who created the hangout, how that affects, if I leave, what happens to the hangout? Does it keep going? Anybody know?
I seemed to go until me and Patrick quit at pretty much about 8:45, wasn't it?
Oh, great. So it didn't matter if I was there or not.
Hmm.
In a hangout that I was doing last week, I forgot to copy and save the link to it. However, the people that I invited to the hangout who didn't show up, because it was an on-air hangout, they automatically received a copy of the hangout, and one of them sent me a thank you off of that, and it was on that thank you there was a link back to the video, and I was able to post it up once because of his thank you. But I'm kind of curious though, do you automatically grab that link and post it while you're talking, or?
Mine, I do on Twitter, and then mine dumps into my YouTube account.
Yeah, and I was looking in my YouTube account and I couldn't find the damn thing anywhere. So I was kind of curious.
I've not had any trouble with it updating to my YouTube account at all. So I'm trying to do the exact same style as the original Doctor Who ones that I did 3 years ago.
You know, sir, if you put those together and print them off via Cafe Press or any number of card companies now, like the place I'm going to take these cards to, they also do playing deck cards or custom cards with fronts and backs. So you could do a mass printing like that and have a really viable low-end thing to market at the conventions if you felt like having that on the side.
Oh, that's cool.
Of course, it's unlicensed Doctor Who material, but
Very.
since when has that stopped?
There does seem to be a lot of that.
And I don't know whether or not ECC is going to be cracking down on it or not. So did you see Nick Butler's submission that he posted earlier for Monster and Dames?
I have not, no. Where did he post it?
I think it was on either on his site or the cartoonist, or on Claw's site, but I think it was his site. So basically, you have a monster that looks like a stereotypical Satan. And in front of him is a girl petting him, and the girl has a bodacious butt that Kim Kardashian would envy, wearing a thong, and looking over her shoulder at the viewer, and both of them were set in like this high-end apartment. But I don't think Nick read the instructions, because it's supposed to be, well, not completely family-oriented, but I think his subject matter of a stereotypical-looking Satan demon. I mean, it was the goat head-looking Satan demon?
Right.
So that might have come and bit him in his bodacious butt.
Did it get accepted?
No, it did not get accepted.
Ah, there you go. For those of you who don't know what Monsters and Dames is, it's a an art book, right? Put out during
Emerald City does
Emerald
one
City
every
Comic Con.
year, and the proceeds of it, only 1,000 copies are made, and those are sold for a nice little premium price. And of course, the participants who get accepted into it also get a copy.
Oh, that's a nice book.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
you were in this year, right?
I got in this year.
Yeah, great.
Oddly enough, it was from submitting artwork that I did 3 years ago that I also submitted, but
Oh, for the same project?
yeah. But after it didn't get accepted, I was really upset, and I was kind of going, I know this is good. This is the best thing I've drawn all year, and so I submitted it to a professional competition for advertising illustrators, and I won a silver.
Nice.
So you might know the competition, Bill. It's local. It's marketing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And you know what? That was the one time I couldn't show up for the event because I was out of town working. And looks like I'm going to be out of town in a couple more weeks. Working.
This is the Maryland trip?
Yeah, it's the Maryland trip. I went ahead and booked it.
It's not on the 29th, is it?
No, that's the following week.
Okay.
And it's not next week, so you don't have to worry about me being gone for the member-only meeting.
Great. Good, because that is going to be an important one, that number.
And we're referring to the CLAW, the Cartoonist League of Absurd Washingtonians, a group that Stowe and I and a few others co-founded back in 2008.
Yeah, that still blows my mind, 2008. I'm actually coming up on my 4th year doing sidekick quests.
Cool.
More easy.
Bill, how long have you been doing Rhapsodies?
Oh, it has to be I think it's about 10 years now.
Oh, jeez. Can't even imagine.
It's like doing laps after a while.
How long have you been working on your stuff, Pat? You still here?
I see Pat. He's up.
What's up?
How long have you been working on your comic?
Oh, several years now. I mean, I've been doing. I've only been making actual paper comic books from the stuff I'm working on for like the past 2 or 3 years, but I've been kind of using those characters for several years before that. So we have another person joining us tonight, Brett.
Hi there.
And
Hey.
he makes web comics as well.
Excellent. What do you work on?
I'm working on an upcoming strip featuring my characters just by so I'm just working on, I think I'm about a month out on my buffer. So
What's a buffer?
I've heard of those before.
yeah, when I'm lucky I have one built up, so
Cool. Do you have an example of it? Oh, I know who you are. Holy cow. I love your stuff.
thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, sometimes I don't put real names to fake
So
internet.
fictional? Yeah. I understand. Plus, I kind of just snuck into this whole thing. So.
Awesome. So where are you geographically?
Los Angeles.
Okay.
Nice and not late for me, so no complaints here.
Yeah, the only one suffering right now is Pat.
Pretty much. But I suffer most of the time anyway, so.
That's true.
I don't know how you guys can keep such late hours. It's amazing to me. I feel like such a man.
I work best late at night. I usually stay up till like 1 o'clock anyway.
So, Bill, before I signed on,
Yeah.
I sent you an email that has a link to a Discworld book that an actor did a challenge to himself where he wanted to narrate something within 40 days. So he narrated a Pratchett book.
Cool.
And it was the second one of the Guard series.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've listened to that one yet, but he did an excellent reading. And I hadn't read or listened to that book yet, so I know you enjoy those.
Yeah, and I also enjoy audiobooks, and good as Nigel Planer and Stephen Briggs are, I always like it when other actors read them.
Well, he does make a few mistakes, though. That might draw you a little nuts. I always thought the city was referred to as Ankh-Morport, but he refers to it as Ankh-Morport. So
I've heard both being used. There. I think she's ready for unking now.
Who is presenting on the big screen right now? Anybody?
I didn't understand you, Stowe. You said something stream?
Yeah, who's presenting? Anyone?
Right now, what I see up on the screen is you.
As default? Okay.
Well, it was bouncing around before, but I think it's defaulted over to you now. Were you getting tired of the images bouncing around?
No, I was just wondering if anybody was doing it.
Oh, now it bounced over to Bill.
Okay, yeah, I just finished the pencil work on it, and I'm beginning to ink it.
Yeah, well, it bounced over to your image when you went, after...
All right, I'm presenting to everyone. That should stop the bouncing.
Okay.
Feel free if anybody wants to take over and show something. Go ahead and steal it from me. And this is the time during epic sketch time where we all get really quiet and quiet.
Stowe, were you there the night at a drawing session for the Claw when we were doing combination of our favorite record albums and Muppets?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, and
I did a very poor showing that night.
what I enjoyed most about that was all of the singing that was going on.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, it's one thing to have a room full of people singing. It's not easy being green, but it's another to hear everyone's trying to imitate Kermit the Frog at the same time.
That sounds painful.
Oh no, it's wonderful.
It is as advertised. Yes.
Especially a bunch of cartoonists trying to sing.
We have some good voices among us. There's one member that what is that song from the Animaniacs?
Oh,
Which one?
The country song.
Yes,
country
yes.
song, yeah.
He knows that thing by heart. Can rattle it off like nobody's business.
He even sang it for the guy at a convention one time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the guy gave him a clapped his hands because.
Oh, that's fine.
And I think he can do the periodic tables too.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Oh, I grew up on that one.
All right, one doctor in a can.
Yeah.
Hopefully they all go this smoothly. That would be great.
So I'm going to take over the screen because I want your guys' opinion on something.
Okay.
Oh, like that Cyberman.
Yeah, that's from the 2013 series.
Ah, this was the villains you were talking about?
Yep, yep.
So I'm trying to decide which way to do this blend, if I should have it with the dark on the top going light towards the bottom, or if I should have it like this. So, which way do you
Wait,
think?
do that again?
Okay, just a moment. So I'm trying to decide if I want to have this blend with the dark to the top.
No, it works better the other way.
Yeah, I was going,
Yeah.
and now I
Yeah,
think I'll
that's
just,
much better.
yeah, and I'm just going to reduce down the opacity of that a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'll let somebody else take over.
Okay.
Bill, why don't you put your inking up for a while?
Yeah, she's coming along nicely so far, so just a second. Oh.
So my wife and I are enjoying the new television show, The Magicians.
What's that?
I'm trying to remember if it's on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think it's on the Sci-Fi Channel. Imagine Harry Potter in the modern age.
Well, Harry Potter is in the modern age.
Oh, pardon. But with prep school kids and drugs, and sort of like a college course, or. But anyway, it's based on a series of 3 books that my wife and I read. That if you haven't read them, definitely read The Magicians.
I think I heard about that one. If it's the same one, I checked it out, but didn't get around to listening to it.
Well, the book is, a really, really good read. I think
Is
it's
the
The
series
Magicians
faithful to the
and The
books?
Return of the Magicians. Pardon me, Stowe?
I said, is the series faithful to the books as far as you can tell?
They are doing some variations on the theme. Some characters are behaving differently. I think they're speeding up the process a little bit. Certainly, you got more of a high school vibe before, but now it looks more like a college vibe.
Mm.
But maybe these guys are just coming across as, I don't know. When I look at kids in college, they just remind me of high. I just can't believe how young I was in high school and in college, and so. Anyway, I'm babbling. But it's a fun series. I was watching a couple episodes of Lucifer. I was expecting more from that series, so I'm not sure if I'll keep watching that one.
Trailer looked terrible. But then again, I'm aware of what it's based on, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, there's no way I think it could be anywhere near the source material. I'm just astounded it got made in America.
Yeah, I mean, there was...
being the devil. I just cannot imagine.
Tell
I
me
don't know
about it.
how that got greenlit.
I know. I mean, the only endorsement I can imagine for it is that A Million Moms is boycotting Olive Garden because of it. But
What is it, boycotting Olive Garden? What does Olive Garden have to do with Lucifer?
Apparently, they're one of the main backers for it. Don't ask me why.
What? Well, that confirms some theories I had about Olive Garden food.
Unlimited breadsticks, demonic.
Yep. That is weird. Why in the world?
I
want to know that marketing meeting where the Olive Garden people are like, okay, we need to pick a show to really back hard. What could it be? Was the show about the devil? Yeah, that's it. That'll get people to eat breadsticks. How in the world did that happen?
I have no idea. I mean, it's sort of like I'd pretty much written this. This is a show that I wrote off the instant I saw the trailer, and I'm still amazed that it even for a half season backup. It's
Now has Gaiman or any of the other writers who actually worked on that property talked about this show?
I have no idea. I mean, because essentially it's Gaiman created the basic concept, but the guy behind the comic is a very talented writer named Mike Carey.
Right, and his series was great. I've read it.
Yeah, it's
I
magnificent.
just can't imagine it being translated into a television show that like Middle America would be interested in.
Yeah, because it's sort of a case of where the devil, their Lucifer may have quit hell, but he's not a nice person, and he definitely would not be helping the Los Angeles Police Department with crimes.
Wait, is that the premise?
That's
no, Bill only seen a trailer. He hasn't actually seen an episode. So,
but is he helping the LAPD?
Not so much.
Okay.
There happens to be a I haven't read the comics, so there happens to be a female police officer who he cannot charm, and so he's intrigued by her, and as a result follows her around while she's doing her detecting, much to her displeasure.
So it's basically Castle, if Castle were Satan.
Well, not quite so much, because he keeps a rather low profile when he goes into the police station, except when he charms people out of prison and stuff like that. But certainly
I'm not fascinated. I might have to watch it because it sounds like a train wreck.
like nobody else really likes him.
No one likes the devil? What are the odds?
Can you imagine that? He's not like Castle, where he's high-fiving it with the guys, or well, except for that whole reference to the Eiffel Tower.
The reference to the Eiffel what?
In regards to a sexual position. So,
wait, what?
Where did this conversation go to? What's going on here?
I'm just talking about what was appearing on the show, or rather what was referred to on the show.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know necessarily what that reference means. Having not seen the show, I would hate it spoiled. Wow, I almost got through that sentence without laughing. So wait, you watched it then, Mark?
I watched the second episode, but I haven't seen the first episode. Now, my wife wasn't very taken with it. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit, but I wasn't seduced by episode 1. I was, came in on episode 2, and who knows what type of change that might have.
Okay, tell me what everybody thinks. This is the initial line work. I'm doing some tweaking on it, but...
Taking over the screen, Bill?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, just make... There. There.
Oh, I like the tattoo work. It's an odd helmet.
Yeah, I was sort of basing it on Donald Sutherland's tank helmet from Kelly's Heroes.
Okay. Because having done a lot of promotional work for roller derby, they have a very distinctive helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Bill, are you taking over the screen? Because I still see mine.
I thought I did.
here, I'm going to stop. I have stopped.
Okay, I thought I...
Well, that was interesting.
Okay.
I have
I'm
stopped.
not presenting at all.
Oh my God, what's happening?
There, am I...
I see.
I see it now.
Okay.
But I also clicked on you. Oh, I'm seeing it in Brett's screens as well, so it must be a...
Yeah, I stopped to look at his.
So what is this for, Bill?
It's this, there's this concept art group that's mostly based on, it has a Pinterest and a Tumblr a page, and every month they do different concepts. So last month was Shaolin monks, The month before it was Day of the Dead, and so this month it's roller derby.
Huh. What is it called?
Just a sec. Damn, sorry, that's disorienting.
Can you share the link to it in the little comment section?
Yeah, sure, just a sec. Just...
So while Bill does that, last night I was at the Pythian Temple, and I was talking to a guy named Adam, who's going to be doing a vlog, YouTube channel for some videos. He was trying to work on putting together a show called Why Adam, but I think that went on hiatus. He put all this effort into designing a set for this show. I stopped leaving some space at one of the
Wait, a set for like a YouTube show?
yeah, and it was going to be like sort of like a Mr. Science thing where he goes out, and he had already done a lot of the field work, has already been done, all of his interviews and things, but he needed sort of like the home base. And it had sort of like this apartment / workshop type attitude with this big giant screen on one side, which was actually a false screen with a room on the other side. And anyway, so he had this whole set finally built, had this big party to celebrate the studio being completed, and then the person that he was renting from was an antique store, and that guy's his rental agreement with the landlord of that building went through the floor, and so suddenly all this time and work he invested was gone because they had to move out. So he's coming up with this other concept that's basically a riff off of Mystery Science Theater. So he was talking about how he wants to have people in just talking about clips and maybe some movies and a few things, and said, I'd love to have you come in. I said, oh, great. Well, I was just remembering this truly awful, politically incorrect Western. And he says, oh, really? What's it called? I said, Terror of Tiny Town. He says, oh, really? I said, yeah, it's an old black and white Western, and, from the 30s, with a lot of, there's your typical, cowboy song singing that was, de rigueur back in the day. But what makes the movie completely awful, just horrendous, is that the entire cast is midgets.
Ooh.
And this was the year before The Wizard of Oz, so a lot of these midgets and dwarves got that cast for The Wizard of Oz.
Huh, I'd known about this, but I didn't realize it was that early.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. My favorite part of the movie was fairly early on, I would say about the quarter of the way in, where this rancher is going into a bar, a saloon, and so he ties up his horse to the hitching rail, and he walks underneath the hitching rail because he's short. Ha ha ha. He has trouble stepping up the side, the boardwalk because he's short. Ha ha ha. He looks over to his left, and he sees there's this shot of a penguin. And they cut back to the cowboy, and then it cut back to the penguin again, and then the cowboy walks into the saloon underneath the saloon doors because guess what? He's short. Ha ha ha. But the penguin is never explained in the entire movie. It's a complete non sequitur.
Okay. That is probably one of the weirdest things I have ever heard you talk about.
Considering the movies you've seen, Mark, that takes doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that movie when I was a kid. and they showed such things on TV.
Do you endorse this movie?
Oh God, no! It's a really it's. But if you look on lists of truly horrible movies, this one is usually in the top 10 or top 40 of a lot of really bad movies because of its complete disregard for political correctness. As a matter of fact, they even, the beginning of the movie is terrible because they have a fake MC start the movie and then invite out both the hero and the villain, and they basically start yelling at each other who's going to be the biggest star in town after this, and then they start, it's almost midget wrestling at that point, and then they cut to the movie. So you just know you're in for a world of treat with just how bad they go for the short people gags in this thing. In the meantime, you know, it's your average cowboy plot, your average cowboy singing. It's kind of convoluted, as a lot of the westerns were back then, but no, when I was a kid, I thought nothing of it. I thought, I guess this was a pretty good novelty movie. And at the time, it did okay in the theaters as a novelty film. But then again, they only spent $100,000 to make the film. So it wasn't hard for them to make a profit off it. But no, I was mentioning that to Adam, and we thought that might be a good movie to, you know, LARP on because it would be just so completely painful to watch. And we wouldn't watch the whole thing; we just kind of edit it down in chunks.
I assume you're not worried about copyright when it comes to Terror of Tiny Town.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Have you ever wondered why on Mystery Science Theater 3000 they went ahead and had the characters silhouetted in the front?
So that it would not be original clips, like the way a lot of the YouTube reverse reviewers flip an image.
Right, basically by having them in there making commentary, it becomes an editorial or a parody because they're changing the content enough, even by their silhouettes being in there.
That's weird.
So at least it pushes the argument for fair use in that regard. And lately, a lot of fair use has been winning ground on the internet. Google recently won a major thing against the writers' unions that has been going on for several years.
Oh, was that the one that we were supporting?
Yeah, that's the one that the Graphic Artists Guild was supporting on behalf of the Writers Guild. So it was a bit of a blow.
What was the issue there?
Was scanning books from the library, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically Google was scanning contents from existing literature and posting it online. And people naturally were saying, hey, you can't do that. That's my literature that I wrote. I'm not licensing it to be used online. This goes against the Tassini versus New York Times ruling that the see way back when in Tassini versus New York Times was all about the New York Times said, hey, we're going to take all of our previous content and make it so that this content is available online, and we can do that because it's considered an archive, and as an archive it falls underneath the category of fair use. But that's not to say that they weren't going to charge people a fee to have access to that archive.
Mm.
Meanwhile, the Tassini, who was basically the president of the National Writers Union at the time, filed suit against them, saying, hey, I wrote articles for you based on a one-time licensing agreement. This is not one-time licensing. This is an additional use. The internet was so new at the time that it wasn't considered a new use. It was considered a giant archive, but it was argued that, hey, this isn't an archive. Archives are free and accessible. But more importantly, we have this signed agreement saying this is the only use they have is first time or one time use, because we make our livings reselling these articles to other magazines and publications. And the Supreme Court agreed with that after a 10-year battle. So everyone, the guild got together with the writers union and all the lawyers, and that was one time I made sure I was able to sit down at the table with the lawyers at the banquet, and everyone was nice and happy because that set precedent as the website being a new media that could be licensed for. So this new ruling saying that Google can scan books and post them out there is kind of contrary to that fact.
Hmm.
There's a lawyer friend of mine named Daniel Abraham, and he and I have always talked about maybe doing a podcast where we talk about stuff like this online. But I think he's only interested if I call him up and ask him the questions and let him talk for 15 minutes straight. And then I do all the other work. And I'm kind of going, I don't want to do all the other work.
You for that 15 minutes.
Pardon me?
Nothing. It was a bad lawyer joke.
I've got a pretty good lawyer joke.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't involve a bunch of lawyers at the bottom of the sea, I'm game. Go for it.
There were these two lawyers. I'm going to call them Bill and Ted because those names are on the top of my mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And Bill and Ted were starting out their practice, and so one of them would man the office while the other one went out to lunch. So Ted goes off to lunch one day, and Bill's sitting in the office, and in walks this old man. Says, how much to get a wheel drawn up? And Bill says, $100. So the old man comes in, and they sit down. It's a really fairly simple bill, wheel. He basically wants to leave everything to his wife or his grandchildren, and within half an hour they have everything wrapped up. And the old man digs into his wallet, pulls out a brand new crisp $100 bill, and hands it over to Bill. Well, the old man leaves, and as the old man has just closed the door, Bill looks down and he feels the money, and as he's feeling the money, a second $100 bill slides out from the new one because they were so crisp they stuck together. And he's faced with his first ethical dilemma. Does he tell Ted?
Wait, was that the joke?
Yeah, that was the joke.
Okay, repeat all of that one more time.
Wait, please don't.
Tough room.
Yeah, I was still waiting for the punchline on that one.
Okay,
Oh my God! I'm not going to explain.
Yeah. Oh, I just finished the line, black and white. See how that looks. Oh.
What are those two lines coming off of the star in goggles?
Oh, just a hair coming out from bangs.
Okay.
I was playing around with this as an undercoat, but I think I...
I'm going to take over the screen for a moment because I want everyone to see this.
Oh. Looks like a cross between Swamp Thing and Mothman.
This is something called the Milpitas Monster.
Okay.
Basically, it's in Milpitas, California. There was this dump that was putting off huge amounts of methane and catching on fire all the time, and so some local independent filmmakers put together this terrible horror movie of this monster that grew to gigantic proportions and started eating the town. And it was basically the dump come alive.
Okay, is that a gas mask it's wearing?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, maybe something. I don't know. The costume for basically it was a big furry ape costume that they attached a lot of roots to, maybe a gas mask, and these horrible giant pair of butterfly wings.
Butterfly wings?
Well, they kind of looked like butterfly wings. They were kind of a cross between bat wings and fuzzy butterfly wings. So, my question to you is, how can I possibly make this look good?
Well, it doesn't look bad. I mean,
I think I might just go in with be a little heavier.
what are you thinking of for a background color?
Oh, let's see. I haven't given that any thought.
Okay.
So, certainly a dark orange color with a blend over. Oh, that's not dark enough. Oh, no wonder that's not looking dark. That's on the yellow layer that I have tinted back. Let's try whatever. I want the background color to look really gloomy, so I'll probably use that as one color, and then use kind of like a umber color like this that has a lot of black in it as my overcolor that I do a blend on, and then I'll probably tone this color combination back over the orange. That might highlight the eyes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about incorporating some red into the wings. But more than anything, I haven't done any tint or tone to this. I just had some yellows, and I think what I'll do is go into this yellow layer that I've knocked back and just expand out that yellow color. But the problem is I'm coloring again, and I need to get these things done, and I'm thinking maybe I should just do the background color, call it good, and move forward.
I don't think you need to touch up the figure at all.
I don't need to what?
Touch the figure up at all.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that. I think it is a terrible enough concept design. You have captured the best it could look.
Yeah, I was gonna agree. Given the source material, I mean,
What I would focus on is just finishing out the background color. Although I think a brighter color, like a sickly yellow or something, might do you better than the natural colors that you were talking about. Just because it would kind of accentuate the nature of the beast.
So instead of that orange
And it would
color,
play
maybe,
off that green really well.
so maybe this let's try a yellow like this.
Okay. No, I was thinking something more plasticky or industrial.
Okay, let's try.
I know that's not a color that's naturally in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I tend to go more primary. This is almost flesh tone.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that at all. Wait. Something like, look at my screen.
Okay.
Something like that.
What's your CMYK combination on that?
It is 20-0-100-0.
Okay, so that's not very. You said it's sickly, so I was adding in more colors. Let me.
Sickly in the way, that kind of unnatural pallor green yellow, that thing.
Let me try that. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That is very industrial looking.
Yeah, and I think it would really pop him out.
Yeah, and then I'll go ahead and use this blend to darken it up towards the horizon, or just
Oh, that could really work with the silhouettes you have going on for the
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
buildings. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, gentlemen, it's 8:30. I need to sign off.
Is it already? Well, I've gotten 3 doctors done in an hour. That's not bad. That's a good.
Can you pull them up? I'd like to see them.
Huh?
Can you post them? Can you dominate the screen?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
I love the potato nose on the third Doctor. That's great.
Yeah, he's definitely got a schnoz. Yeah, I think those are going to work. I love his bow tie sticking over the Valentine thing. I think that's a nice touch. I've only got, 9 more to do.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Mark. All right, I think I'm going to sign off too. My kids are going to be home from their martial arts practice soon. I got to switch to parent mode. So I will talk to all you guys later. Thank
Okay.
you very much for a wonderful epic sketch time. Feel free to keep drawing if you'd like. I'm going to get going. See you guys later.
Good night. Considering it's past 11:30 where I'm at, I think I'm going to sign off as well.
Okay.
Brett, very cool that you dropped by. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Cool. Take care.